another one.
Perfect.
All right, are we there? It is always such a pleasure to speak to the both of you, and let's please start with who you play. So first of all, Bryce, tell us about Ellie Conway and what you most loved about her.
So I play Ellie Conway. She's a novelist. She's created a celebrated series of spy novels based on Argylle, who's played by Henry Cavill. And she's also someone who's a bit of a loner. Her cat is her best friend. Her second best friend is her mom. And she's very much so devoted to her work. And for me, I related to it so much because I am also a little bit that way, but also my mother is a novelist. And so I grew up in a household of, basically with my mom as Ellie Conway, just so focused on her research and her work and so committed. And so it felt, I was very excited to play this part for those reasons.
And Bryan, what can you tell us about Ritter without spoiling much?
Ritter is the head of a spy syndicate, and he is very much aware of Ellie Conway and her ability to write these very prescient novels about the spy world. And I feel like she might know more than she's letting on, so I need to go find out what it is that she is up to. I would say that I hate cats, and my best friend is my antique rifle, Clementine.
It's the best. Those are the best scenes. Those are the best scenes.
We absolutely need to talk about Alfie the cat. How much fun was it to have a character such as him, her, it?
Yes, yeah, no, so much fun.
Not fun at all.
Alfie is played by Chip Vaughn. And Chip is Matthew and Claudia's family cat. And he is the coolest cat. He's absolutely adorable. And I am such a cat person. It was just such a joy working with him. I also don't want to be a killjoy, but I will admit to the fact that we also had a stuffy that we would use because, of course, we would never want Chip in a situation where he would feel anything but completely safe and comfortable. And so it was really sweet because Matthew, because he's his cat, he was really protective of him and just showing up, every day covered in fur and just holding him and it was just, it brought a lot of joy to the set, for sure.
Not really. The cat had more attention than I did.
As he should.
Big trailer and a cocktail every morning.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the whole story. Do you get the full script, and do you feel like that you're ahead of the audience when it comes to, an ensemble like this one?
Yes, you get the whole script, and even still, it's very complex. Jason Fuchs wrote it with Matthew Vaughn, and so because it's so dense in its descriptions that you can't quite always get a clear picture of what's going to happen. So having Jason Fuchs, the writer, and Matthew always there to be able to clarify certain things, it made it more realistic to you. And you are ahead of the audience, but then you wash that away and focus on any individual scene and try not to go beyond what you're focused on at that moment.
Yeah. I would really struggle doing a movie where they wouldn't show me the entire story. I'd be like, why? Do you not trust me? You don't want me to understand the story that I'm telling? And to that point, Matthew was incredibly inclusive because the script, which was absolutely fantastic, was constantly, there were pivots and additions and flourishes and new ideas. And so because of that, we all really needed to be on the same page constantly and communicating constantly so that we could have a sense of what was in Matthew's mind and what ultimately would be on screen. And it was good.
Yeah, a script is like a blueprint. It's like a plans for building a house, but it's not the house. And when you start working on the plans, you go, oh, but wouldn't it be fun if we did this instead and built this up a little higher? And so you're constantly making adjustments in the real construction of either a house or a movie.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the collaboration with obviously Sam Rockwell, Samuel L. Jackson, Catherine O'Hara.
I mean, the best.
I mean, you look at the lineup of people in this, and it's so much fun to work with them. Some I've worked with before, some are brand new, and it's each one can do leads in their own movies.
Yeah, I mean that's really something that's quite distinctive about Matthew. Talent wants to work with him, and he always assembles a stacked ensemble of superstars. So, it was absolutely incredible to get to also just sort of I was cast before some other folks were cast, and so he was like, who would you like to be your mother? And I was like, Catherine O'Hara. And then the next day he called and he's like, she's in. So it's just insane. And
wow.
And Sam Rockwell is such a joy to work with. Henry Cavill is basically the perfect human being. Sam Jackson, Sofia Boutella, Ariana DeBose, John Cena. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It is such a remarkable cast, and it's such a privilege.
Did you approve me too, or
I
like the third or fourth?
I think you might have been involved by then.
I don't think so. I think you were involved first. Had to start with you, and then it moved out.
Well, it was me and Sam and Henry.
Yeah.
But it was right away. I mean, I freaked out. Freak out. I freaked out. I mean, it's so
Who would you
amazing.
like to torment you?
Bryan Cranston, please.
He's the best tormentor.
Without giving too much away, was it one of your most physical roles?
Not for me. No, I had actually didn't have much physical altercations at all. There was a couple little moments, but you.
Well, duh.
You.
Duh.
No, I mean.
No. No.
I'm saying you had a lot. You
know what? There were very long hours.
Very
so I
active.
wanted to be very prepared for, to stay healthy for the long hours, working every day, all that kind of stuff. And then of course it was so fun to get to learn a little bit how to dance with Sam Rockwell and whatnot.
That's very dangerous. Dancing with Sam Rockwell. I've done it many times. I have the bruises to show for it.
He's the best.
Let's talk about the creative mind of Matthew Vaughn and how amazing is it on set, because he's bubbling with ideas all the time.
Oh, yes. No, I mean, Matthew is a very specific kind of filmmaker in that he has the visuals in his head. He's seeing it. And it really is every day. It's the adventure of how do we extract the vision from Matthew Vaughn so that we can inhabit that and breathe life into that vision. And so it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting because there's a lot of new ideas and never settling at all, which I so appreciate. I hate leaving a scene and feeling like we didn't get
unexamined.
it. Yeah.
And he's an auteur, so in those instances, you have to give over. You have to say, show me the way, and let me go into your fantasy, your dream world, and we'll see what that's like. And you can't always glean that from the script. So on the day, he's describing where it's going to go, and it's like, okay, let's dive in and see what happens. But the examined world, that's the thing. You want to make sure that by the end of the day you left going, we thoroughly got through every possible scenario in this scene, and it gives the director options in when they're editing to see what's the most effective at any given time.
Thank you. That concludes the generic interview.
Generic?
Yeah, that was
Done.
generic. Done.
Okay.